because it's political suicide if they don't. We need to force this out all the way into the open, because even though this is a whitewash investigation, it's now opening up more lawsuits. It's now legitimizing those of us that have exposed the corruption of the main pilots of this banking cartel, Goldman Sachs.
That's right. The irony is that right now the two honchos are HSBC and J.P. Morgan Chase. Well, Goldman Sachs was the ringleader in this thing for, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. They've disappeared of late, maybe because they're concentrating on the stock market. I don't know, but everywhere we looked for a period of 8 or 9 years, Goldman Sachs was everywhere on this particular issue.
Yeah, they're now top of the heap. Their underlings are now carrying on this operation. But again, I think the most important point you made is 90+%. I think you gave the number of 93%, and I'm looking at news today. Gold weaker as Greece debt issue back on front burner.
Well, that's the same reason. The commentary is ludicrous in this industry. Last week, gold's up because of the Greek problems. Then it's down. It's these people hit the market, and then the reporters just talk about anything. You could have gold could be up $50 on the Greek debt problems.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Just as a layman here, but I've done a lot of research, having major currency crises that, even in the words of Merkel and the words of Soros, could bring down the euro. This could bring down the euro, and by every barometer, that should shoot gold straight up. And there's all these headlines about gold down $5 or $4.50. Let me give you the exact number, folks. Gold's down $4.70 right now. And the media is saying because currencies are in trouble?
It's ludicrous. This is what happens. Over the years, and we've seen this, any followers, I know there's a bunch of people listening on your show, the worse the situation or the better it is for gold or the more reasons for people to go to gold, that's when the gold cartel attacks the price, because they want to diffuse the barometer, tone down the thermometer. They do it all the time. It's just, again, it's ridiculous for people to say gold's going down because of the crisis. It's nuts.
No, it is nuts. But again, they know people are looking at a month-to-month or week-to-week graph. You look at the year graph, you look at the 2-year, the 3-year, the 4-year, the 5. Gold's going straight up. And if it continues like this, another 10 years, we'll be looking at $2,000 an ounce.
We're looking at $2,000 probably in another year, not 10 years.
Well, absolutely. But, I mean, even in a suppressed market, even if they continue this scam, in 10 years it would double again. That's a great investment.
Yeah, of course. What's happening is they're running out of available central bank gold. People think that the gold industry says there's 30,000 tons of gold in central bank vaults. Well, according to the work of our guys, which are pretty top shelf guys, there's less than 15,000 tons. And European central banks were selling 400 to 500 tons of gold a year. The past 3 or 4 months, they haven't sold an ounce. It's drying up. Think of an army that's running out of ammunition. The bad guys are running out of ammunition. All they can do is have a rear guard action. But it's painful on these dips. We should be at 2,300, not where we are here.
Well, I just did the math, and I was wrong. I was just throwing, a basic number out there. If gold is up almost fourfold in the last 10 years, then it's exponential. If it was doubling, basically every 3-4 years, then you're right. In another year and a half or so, it should be well above 2,000. But I was saying, even in their rigged market, we could be looking at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. The sky's the limit. From all of your research, and I know you guys are conservative, where should gold be for real inflation right now?
$2,300 an ounce. That's what it would be, and that's according to many other people. Had it kept pace with inflation, and that's just the published inflation numbers, much less the real inflation numbers. So we have a long way to go. Again, if I can stress this, the bad guys are running out of ammunition to keep the price down, and you're going to see some kind of major league fireworks sometime this year.
But they do have a lot of money behind the scenes.
But they're running out of physical gold. That's their problem.
Well,
they've gone through about 1,000 tons per year for 15 years. There's a supply-demand deficit of, say, that amount. And they've kept the price under control on the way up by using this physical gold, but they're hitting the wall. One of our guys, our consultants, predicted this. We had a conference in Durban, South Africa, May 10th, 2001. He said in 7 to 10 years, they're going to run out of enough gold to keep the price from really taking off. Well, we're right in the middle of that zone right now.
Wow, so we could see this in the next month or the next 2 years, but time is on our side.
Yeah, it's coming, and it's inevitable. I mean, it's just a matter of how much ammunition they can come up with at a given time to meet the growing physical market demand. So it's very exciting, very frustrating on a day-to-day basis. But, again, we've been up 10 years in a row, and you said earlier, the acceleration phase is still ahead of us.
All right, in closing, we have the head of GATA, Bill Murphy, chairman, director of GATA, on with us. Going back to the whistleblower, you say he and his family were hit by a car. I remember seeing that in the news, that the person ran, and that we haven't heard what's happened since then. How is Andrew McGuire doing? Have you had a chance to talk to him? Is he getting...
He's fine. He talks to my colleague, Adrian Douglas, quite a bit. He's getting... There's a bunch of interviews. People are talking to him over there, and I think he's going further with... the legal counsel, the CFTC. So there's stuff going on behind the scenes, and it's a process. You know, these investigations do take a long time, unfortunately.
Well, let me do this with you. Let me put you on hold and have my producer talk to you. I would like to get you or your other colleague on with Mr. McGuire for a full hour sometime next week. I think people need to hear directly from the whistleblower who saw these J.P. Morgan Chase people rubbing their hands together in glee. Do you think that's doable, Mr. Murphy?
That'd be fine. Fine with me. I have to go to Miami to meet somebody at the Financial Times next week, but I'd love to do it. I just have to see what Andrew's schedule is.
Okay, and you also talked about your other colleague that's working with him.
Douglas. Well, he's an oil consultant, but if he's free, I'm sure he'd love to do it.
Sure. I mean, just the more the merrier, getting your different perspectives here. I want to thank you for your tireless 11-year effort. It's certainly bearing fruit. I mean, there you were, 260-something bucks an ounce back when you started, and it's 1,145 today, and so we're having a great victory. I'm going to put you on hold, sir, and try to iron some of those basics out right now about getting the whistleblower on the show at your convenience, Andrew McGuire. Perhaps we can get his contact info from you. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Anytime, Alex.
All right, amazing information. We're going to get his info now with Jaron. And get that set up. I tell you, folks, AP sued. Now it's 10 years ago and got all the internal minutes of the meetings between the big 10 oil companies, how they said there's too much oil. We're going to promote peak oil. We're going to tell the school kids and everybody there's no oil. We're going to fund the environmental movement to brainwash people about this. And we're going to buy up the independent refineries and shut them down. And we're going to restrict oil that way. And then the Pentagon comes out last week and says there's no more oil, and within 2 years you're all going to be paying $7 a gallon. Water. There's more water than ever. There's all these ways to get water, even in areas like Southern California. But they tell you, even in areas awash in water like England, oh, you're going to pay double, triple, quadruple now. There's no water. When England has more water than any other island nation. I mean, it's just the giant aquifers everywhere, incredible precipitation, huge reservoirs, and it's just scams. And here in Austin, they just say, hey, we are going to give you a $2.6 billion, this is Austin Energy, tax over the next 3 years on your natural gas and power. That's more than all the taxes every year combined. Just one new tax bigger than everything combined. And it's for the earth and for the children, and just shut up. We're going to do it. We're lawless scum. And who do they pay the money to? The banks. And the city of Austin has taken almost all the pension funds and invested it in the derivatives. And now the bankers have come to them and said, you better raise a bunch of taxes because there's going to be no money. And they go and do, I mean, it's just, we have to get out of bed with these crooks. You're like, well, I'm not working with the crooks. Well, neither am I. But we're still in bed with them. We still live in a country that absolute criminal scum run. And they've already committed millions of crimes, so why not commit 10 million more? Why not just steal everything? They've already stolen everything that wasn't nailed down. Now they're in there with crowbars, stealing what is nailed down. They've taken the kitchen sink. They're pulling the tile up. They're pulling the drapes out. They're now bulldozing the building for timber. And we're in here with it collapsing, going, hey, don't enslave us. And they're saying, shut up, terrorist. You're planning to stage terror attacks. We're like, excuse me? We're just pointing out your crime. Shut up, terrorist. The police are going to come arrest you. And we're what?
Get incredible grip, no matter what the conditions, when you wear MaxFit gloves. Everyone from boaters, fishermen, mechanics, plumbers, farmers, senior citizens, and gardeners are all wearing MaxFit gloves for better grip. MaxFit gloves are made with thin glove technology that is ultra thin, breathable, will reduce muscle fatigue when planting gardens, pulling weeds, or anywhere you need a more youthful grip. Watch incredible MaxFit gloves videos online at maxfitgloves.com. MaxFit gloves improve dry grip strength by up to 37% and improve your grip up to 400% better than bare hands in wet or oily conditions. If arthritis has crippled your grip, or if you work with your hands and depend on a good grip, then MaxFit gloves are for you. Right now, get 2 free pair of MaxFit gloves when you go to maxfitgloves.com, maxfitgloves.com, and use promo code radio, or call 1-877-552-5206. That's 1-877-552-5206. MaxFit gloves, incredible grip in